you say that's the reason why you pivoted from being an artist to an entrepreneur now?
The pivot for me came from when I got my first royalty check. So for me, I think what was just like circa 2008, maybe 2009, is when I was receiving the funds that came from This Is Why I'm Hot. And I think my first check was like 30 grand. And I remember we had accumulated like millions. We were accumulating like at least 250,000 a week, um, with the record, and it was on the chart for quite some time. And like ultimately that year, like I could recall saying to myself, man, I went from what my man Biggie said, I went from negative to positive, and then when I got the first check, I was like, what is this? So um we went to like a 7 year litigation against my record label. And during the time of litigation, 7 years is a long time to be fighting in court, right? 7 years is a very long time. But during that litigation, I said to myself, either I could make this moment define me. I could put everything on the past and say this one record here is going to be the definition of who I am, or I can decide to get into something, um and put myself into another space that I think that I'm worthy of conquering. And then I decided to go into technology, in the tech sector, and just live there for a little while. So it proved to be a great decision for me.
Mhm.
um and I mean, music was it's great. It was a gateway to opening up the ancillary things for me. So no different than when we look at people like Will Smith, who started their careers as musicians and ended up being like these huge actors, or a huge actor. um you know if you're out there and you're wondering if you have the ability to pivot, I use that word all the time. Pivot is like one of the most magical words out there. Just means that don't pigeonhole yourself into thinking that you're just able to conquer one lane.
Yes.
You could take your talents and do a lot with it. And for me, I learned that by getting into technology, and now I'm not afraid to get into any industry.